been a while, huh? Yeah. Everybody, Speed. Hey, Steve, good morning. You good?
Yeah.
Everybody good? Oh, good morning. Ask any detective, and they'll be the first ones to tell you that some of the more egregious, tough investigations to conduct are investigations involving children. You know, there's a child that's been victimized. We've got a unit here, our Crimes Against Children unit, and they investigate some of the more really egregious cases of felony assaults and sex assaults, and set the table to say that, you know, we've seen an alarming increase in the number of children that have been victimized by sex assaults this year compared to last year. And I can think of no better of a person to kind of discuss what that spike in statistics and victimization means to our community than the woman I'm about to introduce, Detective Jessica Hall. She's been with the unit 3.5, almost 4 years. She and her team do just tremendous work investigating these difficult cases, and I'd just like to introduce her this morning to give you guys a snapshot of what they've been up against.
Good morning. So our unit alone, Crimes Against Children, has seen a 210% increase in sex assaults reported from last year to this year. This year alone, we've had 31 so far. Last year, we had only 10. I believe that's due to the delay in reporting of the assaults that occurred last year, where the children were with their abusers or were in a situation where they were not safe to tell. That being said, kids were removed last year due to COVID-19. They were removed from student activities. They were removed from school, removed from places where they have a trusted adult that they could tell what was going on at home or to them. I believe this increase reflects the sex assaults, but it also does not encompass the majority of work that we do investigate. I believe this is actually an underreported number of assaults that are occurring, and we will see the rippling effect of that for years to come. But however, CMPD is aware, and we do recognize this increase. We're taking it very seriously, and we're working diligently with our community partners, including Pat's Place, Child Advocacy Center, and DSS. So I encourage anyone who has been a victim or knows a victim of child sex assault to reach out and report it. By saying that, you can call the DSS reporting line at 980-314-3577. Or if you want to remain anonymous, you can call Crime Stoppers at 704-334-1600. You can also call 911 to report, and promise you will act diligently on it.
Any questions for the detective? Just to put a qualifier out there, she's not going to be able to talk about any cases, specific details about any specific cases, because of the sensitivity, obviously, of the cases, and a lot of these are active investigations. So with that, any questions for the detective?
Yes, just clarification. You said there were 31 cases this year, which was up from 10 last year?
Correct.
And you believe it's underreported?
Yes, yes.
And also, could you repeat that number, the 980 number?
Yes, absolutely. So that's the DSS Child Abuse Reporting Line. It's 980-314-3577. You're welcome. And I did want to mention, it is important to remember that these assaults, though it has increased 210%, these are not random strangers that are committing these acts. The stranger assaults are very rare and few and far between. These are oftentimes family members and friends, trusted adults that are committing these acts.
Going back to school, did that help with getting some of these cases reported?
It has, yes. So that's why I believe that the number reflects more so the delayed reporting in assaults that occurred last year. So that's why we're seeing such an increase, because now the children are coming back to school, that they have guidance counselors and trusted adults that they can tell. And those people that they are disclosing to are mandated reporters that do report to DSS or in turn the police.
What signs can people look for?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. So she's asked what signs could people look for. Being withdrawn, sudden change in demeanor or behavior. If you notice grooming patterns, if an adult or someone in the family is going above and beyond and buying gifts that just seem out of the blue, oftentimes you'll see the red flags but can dismiss it and articulate why it's going on. But just talk to your kids. There's nothing better you can do than talk to your children and ask. Teach your children about body safety. Teach them where their private parts are, where on their body it is okay for people to touch, what differentiate between what good touches and bad touches are.
Is there a certain age that you're seeing more of these cases in?
We investigate anywhere from birth to 15, so it's a wide variety of ranges. Yeah, I don't have a specific number, but between 15 and birth, we're seeing it.
What does this do to a child for the long term?
It's traumatic. It's life impacting, and so with why we encourage. A lot of the times we get delayed disclosures, but as soon as we do have that child that discloses, we plug them in with therapy and resources in the community to try and lessen that impact. But it's lifelong.
You mentioned that you work with the Pat's Place Child Advocacy Center.
We do.
Is that a new partnership or something you guys been doing for years, and what's their role? What do they do?
Certainly, I think it's a great question. She's asking about Pat's Place and what their role is in our partnership. We've worked with them as long as I've been on. The most senior detective has been on 8 years, and we've always worked with Pat's Place. The Child Advocacy Center, their role for us is as soon as we establish that we have a victim, we contact them to have the child forensically interviewed. So they sit one-on-one in a child-friendly center with an interviewer and are able to discuss what happened to them. The interview is video and audio recorded, and we do that so for court purposes to try and keep the children off of the stand, because we don't want the child to have to repeat over and over their abuse. There's the trauma that they had to endure. So it's why we go to Pat's Place and allow them to tell their truth about what happened in their experiences only one time. And CMPD and the other partners are able to observe the interview, but we are not in the room with the children.
And so then you work with DSS to find a new place for the child to live?
No, not oftentimes. DSS will come in and establish safety plans with the families. Often just, providing a temporary safety provider. But no, the DSS's goal is not to remove the child from the home. They want to keep the family together as much as possible.
Are you worried now that we're in summer break that we could see even more cases? I know you said they're underreported, but now that kids are going back home out of the school setting, and what are you doing to try to make sure that there aren't more victims?
Yeah, it's all we can do is just encourage that the children report, that if find a trusted adult, they can get a hold of a cell phone, call 911.
You said it's underreported. Why is that? Or you feel that it?
I feel that it is. Yeah, I believe it is underreported. Oftentimes because they are in the home with their abusers, and so they're not in a safe place to tell. And so if you have to go back home to that, oftentimes you're just not in a place where you're emotionally or mentally ready to handle that. Yeah.
I apologize if you already addressed, but did you mention how the pandemic has impacted these types of cases?
Yes. So where the children were removed from activities and just being around adults who have these hard conversations with kids. Yeah.
How do we move forward? I mean, an increase that large, it's kind of alarming.
It is. Yeah, I don't have a perfect answer for you, but I can just ensure that we are working towards coming up with creative ways of how we can address this, and working with Pat's Place and DSS and other community partners that we have as well, to kind of all put our heads together and figure out what next steps we can take, because no one expected COVID to happen, and no one expected, what has already occurred with this pandemic. So.
Have you talked to CMS or maybe child care centers in the Charlotte area about that you're seeing this increase, and being more aware of it, or are they working with you and letting you know, hey, this has been happening, and maybe because we've been virtual learning?
Yeah, it's a great question. We have worked with CMS in the past to talk about body safety and talk about importance of, good touch and bad touches. That's a great example, great suggestion, and we'll work to probably implement that. But no, we're all coming up with ideas of how we can address that. So yeah.
Anybody else for the detective?
Yes, just one more question. You said it was, I'm sorry, I'm clarifying some of the
That's okay.
information again. 31 this year so far?
So far, yeah, because we're only in June.
Right. And it was 10 this year, last year so far, or within the whole year?
That was the whole year of 2020.
What was
Wow.
2019 to give us perspective of pre-pandemic timeline?
I don't have those numbers in front of me, but I'll be sure to get those to you.
So 10 for all of 2020?
Correct. Yeah, and that's only specifically for rapes. So we're only talking rape. We're not talking about the other sex assaults that we investigate, which is why I believe that the number's not accurately portrayed here. I believe it's even higher because we're talking about just rape alone. We're not talking about forcible fondling or indecent liberties or just the touching that happens. And our unit also investigates the physical side of abuse as well. So not only are we handling the sex assault, but also the physical abuse.
Have you guys been able to make any arrests with any of those 31 cases?
I don't have specific numbers on those, what specific cases those were, so I can't comment to that, but I could look into it.
And the allegations are typically against people in the home or?
Usually, yeah. So usually it's trust. I mean, yeah, it's hard to say. It's case dependent, but oftentimes it's family members, or it's boyfriends or girlfriends, or people that you bring into the home, uncles, aunts. I mean, it's anybody and everybody.
I'm assuming there's kind of a level of trust there. Can you kind of talk about that? Like, why is it, right, usually a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or, family member?
It's hard to talk specifically to that, but often, I mean, it's easy for these people, that the perpetrators, to do this because they are in a level of trust, and kids are easily manipulated, and kids do believe and do trust adults, and they should be safe with these people. And those people take advantage of child's innocence and child's trust.
Thank you, Detective. Appreciate you.
Okay, thank you.
You and your team have tremendous work to do there. We appreciate you taking